And welcome back, YouTube. So this is going to be the fourth part in this streaming recording session, and it's also probably going to be the last part for the day. In the last part, we went ahead and set up solar panel production, so we can now start to swap over to renewable energy. We're also starting to do a lot more of the green techs, so we can start setting up things like petrol and engines, which we'll probably try to do at least one of those two today. Whether we get around to both of them, I'm not 100% sure. One thing I'm going to start doing in sort of preparation for swapping over to renewable power is I'm going to cut out a bunch of trees over here. I'm going to start building what will effectively be a thermal battery, thermal accumulator, off the back of my old boiler setup, so that when the solar plants are providing the day's power, the boilers can generate steam to run steam engines during the night, and/or run extra steam engines. So right now it is one boiler to 2 steam engines. If we technically only have the steam engines running during the night, we could technically run 1 to 4 instead of 1 to 2. So we're going to start swapping it over to be able to do that. Which of course means I need this back area here freed of lumber. So we have space for that thermal battery, which will basically be an array of tanks, which we'll research, which is the next thing here. Fluid handling will develop our tanks. We'll grab our solar panels, we'll grab some steel furnaces. Like the old stone ones are now obsolete, so I'm gonna take the spot for them. There we go. A little bit of solar panel. So we generate a little bit less pollution when we don't need to be making pollution. Oh, yes, setting up those steel furnaces. So that should, in theory, roughly double, assuming we have the throughput to fuel them, double the amount of iron we're making. Anyway, looks like we maybe have throughput issues. We don't have enough coming in. Yeah. Not because I need it for the miners, because I need it for the belt. That's why I'm putting these trees down. I'm going to put perpetual, always needing more yellow belt. More yellow belt, please. And I walked past where my yellow belt was produced. There it is. Put it too close to where I wanted it. I'm like here. Okay. That should increase our throughput of iron. Well, so what do I need? I need steel for that. Take a quick jog along the steel line for a bit. And then we can make some steel tanks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's make like 8 tanks. And we'll need some underground. Let's do like 16 underground. This will serve as our backup. Well, this will allow us to have a thermal battery to maintain power. When the sun don't shine, or solar power. Let's just get the tanks filling. They come real fast when they come, is what's happening. Okay. Oh, because that cross connection, okay. Then, to maximize the working, I just need to make a bunch of steam engines. And then as we add more and more solar power to the network, that'll act as a steam buffer, so we store up steam during the day and consume it during the night. We need to grab a bit of iron to build the steam engines. 10, 15, 16. No, this is a great time. Well, actually, no, the steam power is starting to come up, it looks of it. Yeah. So that was basically the end of the night, beginning of the next day. Let's see, power production by the solar panels is starting to make more and more of a dent in the daily usage of steam. And as we make more solar panels, it'll just be more and more. Okay, what else do I want to work on? Probably engines next. I could probably slapdash throw together a couple engines to get myself a car to drive out to problems. Yeah, the slapdash approach is probably what I'm going to be tempted to do. Because we don't have a permanent need for engines yet. Eventually, it'll be science. One of the science requirements will require engines in my reserves. Blue, for example. Yeah, blue requires engines. Scrolling down to make sure that we are in space age. It would be a shame this far in to not be in space age. So if we make crude oil, we immediately get oil processing. Okay. Gates, concrete. We're probably going to want rail, automated rail at some point, so we'll put you in the queue. And we'll do gates. We will need a little bit of military, I suppose, because we'll probably want laser turrets. I mean, yeah, we're probably at the point where I need to do oil processing once the queue is empty. Requires me to actually go out to the oil, which I've decided I want a car for. That means I need to slapdash throw together way to make engines. Doesn't need to be the best way to make engines, but it needs to make some engines. So here I show you the magical power of spaghetti. This is a temporary solution to temporarily make engines. This is not how I would recommend making engines, other than just to temporarily make some. Okay, and a car requires 8 engines, 5 steel, and 20 metal, which is not that hard. Locomotive is a little bit more expensive. We are at some point going to want to be making rail and locomotives as well. Yeah, I think I'd set my car up. We're gonna go drive around, put a bunch of radars up, and then try to probably get rid of this spider nest down here. Because that's the first one that's gonna get touched by our pollution. Okay, we'll drive around, put a radar out here, radar out here, radar out here, radar out here, radar just beyond the oil field, and we'll probably drive around and maybe actually take both of these on. Both of these nests on. This one's a little bit less necessary, but it's also pretty small and on the way. Obviously, as a preparation to that, I will want some bullets. If you're thinking about it, it's probably time to pack in this temporary source of bullets. That was in case the pollution spread faster than I was hoping it wouldn't. Instead, it's probably time to swap over to making piercing rounds. It's gonna run 1 to 3. So you're gonna output into a box. The box is gonna be set up like this. So you can't overfill the box. Mainly this will serve as a buffer. All the regular bullets I don't want to be carrying around with me. Then for the armor-piercing ones, it is 3 to 1, so I need to set up 3 assembly machines to get ideal output. And it's copper and steel coming in for those. And for the moment, those are going to get boxed up as well. From a box to a box. This with some processing in between. Yeah, so you need to put the belts in the middle, otherwise it doesn't work. And we now have armor-piercing rounds being produced. And I should be ready. Where's my turrets? There's my turrets. Put that on the taskbar. Radars on the taskbar. We'll grab a bunch of engines and cube a car. And off we drive. And promptly get annoyed at there's the existence of trees. Trying to drive through trees in the game is not the easiest thing in the world. I do have repair packs, right? Yeah. A lot, but Good to know that we have them. Picking up the empties while we're here. I'm not necessarily appreciative of how many empties we have for the coal. Especially because it's the power coal, not the furnace coal. Got a bunch of empty mines down here. Yes. Well, not a bunch. Two. Two empties. Apparently some under the belt here. Find that out later. There isn't much left there. Now we hop in our car and drive away. So, based on the map, big biter base over there, but we're gonna go over to here, and drop power poles out on our way. Which means I need some power poles to make this work. Otherwise I'm gonna barely get very far and run out of power poles falling behind me. Okay, now to crash into the power poles we're putting down. We can hop out. Probably should repair my vehicle before I do any more driving, because we've done a lot of damage to the vehicle. And radar 1. Why do you have no power? What did I screw up as far as the power goals are concerned? Where is the bug? Did I accidentally run over one of my own power poles? Possibly? Ah, right from the beginning. Didn't cross the double wide. Okay, that we should have working radars. I'm gonna go into the coal. I'm gonna have to be a little bit careful driving because we got a bunch of trees in the way. Okay, so a good place to put the radar now. Let's see if we can get free and drive over to the next place to put the radar down. Trees are a bit thick here, and I think there's no other better way to get through them other than just to run them over. besides getting out and chopping them down. That, the deposits I was thinking about expanding to, which is iron, copper, coal. Probably won't each expand to the stone or that quickly because we have this one, but the stone and the crude oil here, because there's going to be a crude oil that we're going to set up on. And the next is to come down here and fight those biters. And for the first one, I think the car was enough firepower. Second one, we're going to probably want to set a little bit more firepower up in the form of a turret nest to support our advance. That, I think that nest is cleared. That was the most likely one, I think, to get triggered by the pollution. So we should be good for setting up petrol. So back to base we drive to acquire materials to make a pump jack. Okay, and for pump jack I need iron, basically, to make the iron components, steel to make the steel components. I'm mostly actually limited by my lack of iron in my current inventory. Actually, how many pump jacks am I going to be making? 7. How many have I made? 2. Give another 5. And we'll go ahead and do 2 storage tanks. There'll be a lot of plumbing to bring it back after that. We'll have 1 near the fields to store, and then 1 back at base. And with the new changes with fluid pressure, I will probably want, if I have access to it, which it doesn't look like I do, a pump. I do. There it is. There's the pump. Okay, here's my oil field. I'm just gonna need more underground to make this work. Oh, I technically officially have oil processing. It's all pump jacks. Now I just need to get my plumbing in. I think the plumbing, once I have the plumbing in, I think that's where I'm going to put the cut in the episode. And we'll pick up next time. I'll be right back. Okay, continuing where I left off, YouTube, I had to suddenly make a very quick trip to the facilities, so hopefully, because I didn't actually pause the game, not much happened in the meantime. We've already sorted out the problems potentially that we might have with pollution, so I suspect there wasn't really anything to happen. And what would have been visible while I was gone would probably have been captured by the Twitch stream. And we're now producing crude oil. Now we just need to pipe that back to base. Which shouldn't be too hard. So we have enough material to make underground, that's why I'm at it. We'll get this pipe back to base, and I might do the initial setup on the oil refinery because I had to put an interrupt in the video. I'll have to edit out. Yeah, plastics, sulfur and plastics is probably what we're gonna do next research-wise. We maybe don't need explosives as much as we'd want normally, because it's not like we're going to use some cliff explosives for quite a while. We are going to need batteries. We are going to need advanced circuits. That's what we need for blue science. So that's basically going to be our up-and-coming queue. Now to go make the petrochem to support that. We'll probably set a petrochemical industry right here, next to the body of water, so we'll sort of squeeze it through here, squeeze the plumbing through here. So let's drive the vehicle back to base. I can go back and pull the pipeline in a little bit later. Oops. Yeah, for some reason, you know, a lot of buildings don't appreciate being driven into at speed. I've just cut off most of the base from power. That's not good. Actually, no, the other way around. I cut off most of everything that's not in the base from power, which is almost as bad. So while I'm waddling around, what do I need? I need bricks for the oil refinery. And we'll just set the oil refinery up right away. Need like 3 more storage tanks. We're gonna need a bunch of iron for all the plumbing. Yeah, I'll need to remember for the next session to take these down. We might be looking like we're making good time to there is no spoon, but the last couple steps in there is no spoon are actually the bits that take all the time. And now we're just waiting for our pipe recipe to finish so we can finish this plumbing. one there. Plumb one there. And I suddenly had to put another set of turns in, so turn, turn. And the final turn into our oil tank. And then we grab the oil refinery, which only has one recipe for the moment. Okay. I have to move it a bit. Not by much, but a little bit. Make the input-outputs line up where I want them to. I think with the changes they made with the plumbing, you don't need to be quite so spacious in making the plumbing setup. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be this spacious in setting the plumbing up, just that you don't have to be. And again, I'm kind of over preparing a little bit. Right now we only have one of the 3 outputs coming out of it. I'm just setting up stockpile tanks for all 3. So sulfur is whatever's petroleum. And where's my plastic recipe? Plastic is what's being developed right now. You are coal plus petroleum. Again, doesn't take water yet, but the upgraded one does, and I'm going to swap it to the upgraded one as soon as possible. So I'm plumbing the water in just as a preparation. Depending on what recipe you're using, you're also going to need water on the front end, so let's get the water out ahead of time up front as well. And then I suppose I'm going to grab the stuff to set up a couple chemical plants. I'm not going to show the what will probably sort of be spaghetti of getting the sulfur and plastic into the bus, but that's the next thing that will be on as soon as I get these chemical plants actually running, is doing the spaghetti to get them involved. Oh, and that's something I haven't brought over. Well, sort of have brought over, but I haven't brought over is I haven't brought the coal onto the bus either, which will need to be on the bus as well. Oh, and I need to make sure I save space for the science that I've already started to build here. So we need our petrol to be below that. So we'll make you sulfur. Go grab a bunch of coal so I can refuel these mines, the manual mines that I've been using. Okay, we'll up the copper supply like that a little bit. So that our copper had reduced by almost a sixth, and I'm like, we probably want a little bit more copper than that. So there's sulfur production. Assuming we have the petrol to work it. Next will be plastics, as soon as we have plastics to go. Yeah, we can drag it in from there. That'll work. grab more. More belt. Always more belt. So first for this, we're going to get coal coming in. I'm going to use a long handle to take it off of there. And it needs to go in the plant like that. And then it can go out like the silver does on the bottom. So I just need to work in the copper. Or work in the coal. Work in the coal. So because of how the sort of spaghetti operation goes, there will be sort of an upper throughput I can do on sulfur here before I run out of space. Same thing with plastic. I'm hoping for at least the near future that throughput upper limit will be sufficiently excessive that that won't be a problem. And I think that's probably where I'm going to end it for the day. So we've got sulfur and plastic set up. It just comes down to doing the spaghetti to get it into the bus. And so is the spaghetti to get it out of the bus once I've got it in the bus. And then we're going to set up all the stuff we need to do blue, which really, other than undoing the spaghetti we have in the engine and replacing it with proper non-spaghetti, should be really easy to do. Because plastic goes for the advanced circuits, we've got the sulfur there, we've got all the stuff we need for the engines. So it's doing the research and building the parts, building the assembly parts. So I hope you've been enjoying this on YouTube. If you've been watching on this YouTube, or if you're watching this on Twitch, I hope you've been enjoying it. Sorry for the break in this video where I had to leave in the middle of the episode, but I'll edit that back together in YouTube, so we'll see if that actually shows up in YouTube. Until then, I hope you all have a good time. Well, until the next episode. I'll start recording again tomorrow, so if you're watching on Twitch, be on the lookout for a stream tomorrow. And if you're watching on YouTube, be on the lookout for another episode tomorrow, because there'll probably be another episode tomorrow, assuming something doesn't come up and I get to stream tomorrow. So until then, catch you all next time.